Hello, very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another interesting episode of the Candid Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. Such a pleasure to always have you on board. Remember, this is Kenya's most comprehensive political and public governance analysis show. But then for today, I want us to be very serious on the governance side. And of course, guys, I am with who? Definitely here on this show. Prof.
Yes.
How are you, sir?
I'm well, and you?
I'm quite okay.
Wonderful.
It has been a long time.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
These people have always been going through the comment section wondering, where did Prof go?
But I'm around. I'm around.
There are certain issues
Round and about. Yeah.
round and about.
Correct.
And here we are, definitely looking at how things are happening in the country.
Yeah.
I want us to stick to very serious issues that are actually taking place within the country and make our viewers understand the impacts of some of these decisions and how best we can actually better our governance system in the country. Let's get straight to the conversation, and of course with regards to the Ministry of Health.
Yes.
The conversation between the KMPDU leaders and the Ministry of Health officials has hit a snag, and we are witnessing a stalemate therein between these two factions. Now, while they are there at loggerheads and fighting, it's the grass that suffers down here. Patients are suffering in various hospitals, and definitely the situation is dire in various public hospitals across the country. Prof, this actually begs a lot of questions. What do you really think is happening within the ministry? Where are they getting it wrong that they're leading to the kind of problem that we're witnessing right now?
You know, wherever there is a bulk of public servants employed, whatever sector, you'll always find problems there. That's why day in, day out, every year, every so often, we have issues with education because the bulk of public servants are teachers. Okay? And these teachers cannot sell chalk, cannot engage in corruption, and they are paid peanuts. So all the time there are threats of strike and strike. The public health sector is also a big employer. By and large, there aren't very many avenues for corruption also, so they depend on their salaries. These two sectors, where we have teachers and health workers, are people who do not go to the office just to buy time, just to while away, to make telephone calls, use government computers, make deals. No, when you are a nurse, you go to work. If you're a doctor, you go to work. When you go home, you are tired. If you are a teacher, you work. Yet, the other public servants, they don't have as much dedication to work. They don't spend as much energy on work as the teachers and the health workers. And they can while away in the offices. They can be away at any excuse. And there's also room for little magendo here and there. So that's why you'll find issues from health and from education, because these are people who really work, who are sacrificing, who are dedicated, and who are poorly paid, and who have no avenue like other civil servants to steal. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Other civil servants have all manner of allowances they create. Oh, they have gone where seminar, they have done what, they have gone here, they have done this. So they create money kidogo kidogo. Even a driver in the public service gets more money than a doctor. Because man amenda Mombasa, per diem, allowance, you know the kind of things. So you can find, if you have two children, one is a doctor, or say a clinical officer or a nurse, and the other one didn't quite do well, and therefore they maybe did something like driving, which is not, there's nothing wrong. We have children, even I have children who are drivers. There's nothing wrong with that. But you see, the expectations really would be that the doctor or the nurse should be doing better socioeconomically than he who is a driver. You know, many things remaining equal. But the truth is, this driver can put up a house at home before you. Your son who is a driver can put up a house before the doctor does. Because akienda trip, anapewa like 30,000, ana save. like that. Within 5 years, he has put up a doctor will be still struggling. So that's why, to cut a long story, that's why you find industrial upheavals in those two sectors more than elsewhere. Yeah.
Now, let us now focus on the current situation that we have. Patients are losing lives in hospitals. The doctors are saying that they are on and their strike is not ending anytime soon. Talk to me, how best can they handle this particular situation so that we do not witness such things again happening in the country?
Let us face the bigger problem. The bigger problem is that health is a devolved function. Now, it is not bad for health to be devolved, but it has been misunderstood and is being mishandled. Even when we are devolving health, did we even ask ourselves, who has the capacity to handle these people? Who will have the capacity to handle these people? I do not support those who say health should come back to Nairobi, no. Wherever there is devolution across the world, the first two things to be devolved are health and education, for they are closest to the people, and therefore they must be handled at the grassroots. However, we were not well prepared to handle health. That's one of the challenges, one of those problems we have. So you must start there. Ask yourself, now that health is devolved and we cannot go back, what is the best way? What are the challenges? 10 years down the line, we still haven't identified the problems. Can governors handle health? You know? So we can't remove it from governors, but how best to handle it? That's the first challenge. Secondly, the parent ministry is supposed to deal with policy only, but it does engage in other things that rob funds from the counties. For example, that the leased services, the equipment they were leasing, counties pay so much money every year for that. You know, that is wrong. And the government remains with a lot of money, just like with water. Instead of taking money down, the government remains with the bulk of the water, bulk of the money meant for water, which is a devolved function. Ditto agriculture and so on. So government must remain with the policy and provide a better policy and release funds to go down to the counties. And another problem is, generally, government is slow in releasing money to the counties. So this will affect health, where consumables like medicine, and the doctors feel bad that they are working and their patients are dying when they are seeing, because simple things have not provided. So government must improve on capital, on provided, release of devolved funds. But to answer your question much more directly, there's need for government to sit down in an open way and talk to its workers. This country requires to have a living wage for its workers. You know, the problem, Evans, is that government stepped in the place of the Mzungu. How did the colonial administrator, the white view workers down there who are Africans? Have we changed that philosophy? Have we changed the way we view those workers? Because there was a serious discrepancy between the salary of a white police officer and an African askari or police officer. There was a huge difference. Even if you go to nursing, the same. The ordinary nurses viewed the nurse, the white one, so superior, lived in a better place, was paid far much better compared to the African nurses. We must move away from that. But government must sit down with workers to create living wages, living salaries. Doctors must be well paid. There are no two ways about it. There are absolutely no two ways about it. Government has enough money to squander on useless things, but it pretends it has no money to pay doctors, nurses, and other health workers. We must move away from that. And they are not even asking for too much. No, they are not asking for too much. Yeah.
Talk to me about the kind of approach that the health ministry is actually giving this kind of problem that we are having right now. Because one, I do understand that they've promised to post the interns. One of the issues here that is actually causing a lot of jitters and one of the bone of contentions here by April, but that has well not been bought by the KMPDU officials. They've said that they've been promised this ever since. It has not worked. This issue about posting of interns, why should it in the first place be something that we are talking about in this particular age and time in this country?
You know, interns are basically doctors. See, it is actually stupid. I'm sorry to use such a word. It's actually stupid for us to train people at using colossal amounts of money and then just let them walk the streets. Why are we then training them? Why? We train doctors and other people and we don't employ them. And there is need. If there was no need, then we wouldn't even be training them. We train them because there's need. Then we don't absorb them. Then what happens? A good number of these people go and serve other people who didn't train them, who didn't give them education. Only a foolish person can do that. We have to absorb our doctors up to a point where we have enough doctors in our hospitals. Then we'll recalibrate our training. So, okay, so far I think we can only, through natural attrition and retirement and the rest of those things, we need maybe 200, 300 doctors per year. So we focus our training. We make sure our training is in sync with that replacement and what have you, and improvements and new areas and new trainings. You know, but you cannot just be training people and giving them hope. Then when they, you know, a doctor, for your information, is that child we carried shoulder high because they had scored 420 marks in class 8, and everybody celebrated and danced, and there was ululation and a beboko with the twigs and everything. Is that right? Song and dance. A doctor, for your information, is that student who scored a clean A. If you look on the result slip of the person who goes to do medicine, they had A, pakamusho, not that. Strong S, because they go beyond the grade. They look for the visual marks in the grading. The individual points and points are out of marks, not just A. They look, the weighted cluster. This is the person who becomes a doctor. We carry them shoulder high after Form 4. Then they spend many years training to be doctors under serious conditions. Then now we pretend we made a mistake in singing and dancing, in carrying them shoulder high, in spending colossal amounts of money and time training. We pretend it was a mistake. These are people who should embrace, give them jobs, let them be engaged, let them serve society, let them be paid well. It's a no-brainer. We have money to set aside for people to steal, but we don't have money for our own health. Evans.
Yes.
As I speak today, a very close friend of mine lost his wife yesterday morning to cancer. You saw last time I was going to bury my brother-in-law.
Yes.
Cancer. Almost every home has a cancer patient. And many of these other complicated diseases, and including lifestyle diseases, partly these diseases are there partly because we are not strong on community and preventive health. In fact, we don't have enough doctors in this country trained. We need even to import more doctors. Because if we don't give attention to health in this country, especially community and preventive health, public health, if we don't give attention to this, we are already a sick nation, but we'll be a dead nation. A frightening percentage of Kenyans will be suffering from all these manner of diseases, including the cancer. So we need to embrace doctors. We need to send them for specialized training to understand the new emerging trends and challenges. You get it? At this time, we should not be talking about whether or not we are employing interns. We should be asking, out of these interns we are employing, how many are we sending to Cuba? How many are we sending to Germany? How many are we embedding in Camry? That is the conversation we should be having. Otherwise, we are all going to die. We are actually, I don't know why we can't see that we need science stop us from dying tomorrow. And the people who carry science in their head are these people we are now refusing to employ. We are treating doctors, interns, as if they were just clerks. People you can go in the streets and just call, come, there's a job here. Ingia kwa hii lorry. No, these people, these are the best students we had in the system from class A to Form 4.
Okay.
These are the people, these are the brains who sat long hours reading medicine. We cannot be talking about this. I'm telling you, sometimes I don't understand. I really don't understand. Yeah.
Let us look at the implementation side of it and see, now that of course you've talked of what the Ministry of Health should actually do, but then in a bid to actually end this stalemate, the KMPDU officials and all those officials of various medical organizations of all health workers in this country decided to meet the Ministry of Health officials, and apparently they decided to walk out because they are saying Dr. Devji Teller, the Secretary General to KMPDU, says that the people whom they found there cannot even make any bearing decision on anything pertaining to all their requests there and all their demands. What do you think is happening here? Is there a lack of some sort of goodwill to end this? Because how does it make sense when these people, officials from this particular union, go ahead to meet ministry or officials from the Ministry of Health, and then they only find
junior officers
who cannot even listen to them?
This is the problem of leadership. Leadership is critical in any organization, in any country. The mistake the president made was to give us people who are not fit to be ministers. And this we have said repeatedly. Now, it's obvious. I don't think the lady in charge of health has the capacity to run a ministry. And let me make myself clear. She could do a better job elsewhere, but not here. Here she has failed. And let me also buttress what I'm saying. An individual can make a difference. When Charity Ngilu, Charity Kaluki Ngilu, was a minister in charge of health, doctors will attest to the fact that what they are enjoying today, Ngilu fought for it. As a minister, she did not fight on the opposite side. She was with the doctors on the same side, trying to see what it is this country can do for the medical workers, especially the doctors. She didn't go on the opposite side and pushing. They are pushing and she's pushing. No, she went. Charity Ngilu worked with the doctors and the other health workers. Okay. In fact, she fought to the point of annoying the Mandarins at Treasury. I don't think even Kibaki was very happy with her. Today, what doctors many of the things doctors are enjoying can be traced to Ngilu's fights. An individual can make a difference. Don't always think your work is to oppose. As a minister, listen to the medical health workers. Hear what they have to say. Look at some of the challenges. There's a time doctors went on strike. They said, we have a list of grievances. Even salaries are there. But it is not salary that is number one on our list. The main problem we have is the working environment. As a doctor, as a trained nurse, a trained health worker, official, and whatever, it is so painful to watch a patient die because the basics that will save her life are not there. Doctors were saying, how do you feel as a doctor when you don't even have gloves? Simple things that will make a difference in the life of a patient, whether or not they will die, they are not there. So it is painful to be a doctor and see money being squandered elsewhere, but the basic required in the hospital cannot be provided for. This is what doctors are talking about, and we must listen to them. Yeah.
Do you think we do not have money in our public coffers? Or
money,
is it that
we have money for stealing. Why people are not paid well is that money, if there was money in the treasury, we are doing budget allocation. If you send 100 billion to go and pay doctors and teachers, you can't follow it to steal. Because inaenda kak kwa bank account ya mwalimu, kak kwa bank account ya daktari. Huwezi kula hiyo pesa. So unaweka kwa dam, a project, barabara. Alafu unafuata unaenda kukula. That's the problem, and we know all these things. The money which is there cannot be given to teachers and doctors and other public servants Because these thieves cannot follow it to steal from there. You get it? They are following it to tax it now, but they cannot follow it to steal. So they put the money where they will follow to steal. So they hide it, billions of the money in projects, so that out of every 1 shilling they take there, they eat 80 cents. Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from Professor Herman Manyora here with regards to the kind of problem that we are witnessing in the health sector in this country. The doctors are saying that their strike is still on, of course, right now. They've hit the 8th day running, and they're saying that unless their demands are met, then they're likely to continue being there on the streets, while at the same time patients are losing their lives in this country. Well, we do hope the president is watching, and of course the health cabinet secretary Susan Kumisha is also watching, and we do hope that these people will actually come to a common conclusion for the betterment of the common man at the end of the day. Allow me to stop this conversation at this particular moment, but remember that every week I'll be bringing you up to date with comprehensive analysis of all that is taking place in various sectors in this country, be it the health sector, the education sector. I'll always be here with Professor Herman Manyora, who is actually well knowledgeable and has got the right information. Of course, he always puts these things without fear or favor and in the right manner. Until we have this conversation again, have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi.